Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
We welcome you back to Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, October the 4th. I'm Gary Stevens. It is the first Tuesday of the month, which means we feel the zeal as we spotlight the City of Zeeland. We will have the Master Gardener Jan Musen from DeBride C join us a little after 10 o'clock this morning with the Yard and Garden Hour. But we normally at this time have a chance to chat with the mayor of the City of Zeeland, Kevin Kleinstra, about what's going on in his community. Unfortunately, he is not able to be with us today, but on the other side of our Zoom connection is Abby DeRoo, the marketing director for the city, and the lady that coined Feel the Zeel. I don't want to say how many years ago, Abby, but it's been a while. A good phrase, and good morning, and welcome back to WHTC.
Good morning, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. If you have a question about what's going on in Zeeland, Abby's a good person to ask. It's 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. We've talked about this before, but I know we get new listeners from time to time. Give us a little bit of the genesis over how Feel the Zeel started and how it has emerged as really a great branding tool for the City of Zeeland.
Thanks, Gary. So I think it's like 15 years ago now, the city was ready to rebrand itself, to launch a marketing campaign. That's when my position was created. And we worked really closely with a marketing company that used to be downtown Holland, the Image Group. And they helped us find a brand that really portrayed our identity, both, who we were and who we wanted to be. And so it helped Zeeland, kind of pick up the pace and move forward. And since that time, we've used all of the energy and enthusiasm that comes from that Feel the Zeel slogan or brand. And we've used that in all of our community planning since that time. So our vision planning, our downtown development, all of our events, our parades, our marketing, PR. It's been a very fun brand, and we call it contagious. We say the Zeel is contagious. So we have a lot of fun with the Feel the Zeel brand.
One of the first images when the branding was made, I recall when it did happen. I didn't want to say how many years ago, and I'm glad you did that, Abby, but one of the first images was the water tower off of Washington Avenue when the slash of the ZEE, and it said Feel the ZEAL, and that sort of like kicked everything off on that.
Yeah, you're close, but I do have to correct you because we did stage a video kind of middle of the night, climbing up the water tower on Washington. And that water tower said, "Welcome to Zeeland." And we crossed off the land and we made it say, "Feel the Zeel." We kept it ZEEL. We do have the double E, but it was really fun. And then we used former Mayor Hoagland as our actor in that video. And so it was just a riot.
I'm glad you corrected me on that. And the other branding image that has lasted was the Z exclamation point. It's seen on both the major entrances to the City of Zeeland, one on Chicago Drive on the eastern side, one at the Roundy Round, as Duke Van Oss would say, on the western side. But the other thing, too, is that really came into forefront a couple of years ago when instead of the round red circle with the Z and the exclamation point, it came to a heart, and it was during the COVID-19 outbreak, and sort of a sign that participating businesses and individuals were sort of binding themselves together during the outbreak.
Yeah, that's right. We, our logo with the Z, the exclamation point, it's been really versatile and we've had fun using it. Right now, all of our street pole banners have a pumpkin with an exclamation point. So we've had fun using it for seasons. But then, yeah, during the pandemic, we changed it to a heart and we switched our tagline temporarily to Heal the Zeel. And it was really a way that our community could come together and support all of the different sectors of the community that were struggling during that time.
One more branding question, and then we will need to take a break. We do have a CNBC update coming up, and then we'll talk all about the 175th anniversary celebration, as well as Pumpkin Fest and other events coming up in Zeeland during the month of October with Abby DeRoo. And of course, you can join the conversation at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. As somebody who works in the area and has seen it evolved over the 20 years I've been here. Well, it'll be 21 middle of this month. What I believe that Feel the Zeel and the Z exclamation point has helped City of Zeeland over the years, Abby DeRoo, is that it gave Zeeland an identity. It was no longer just an offshoot of Holland. It gave it an individual identity that maybe the city felt it had, but the word hadn't gotten out yet.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. This community has always been really special. I wasn't born and raised here, but as soon as I moved in, I realized it right away how special this community is. And they had a story to tell and they had energy behind it. And so, coining that tagline and logo really was the visual piece of the story. We had the story, we had all the pieces, but it was that visual representation. And then we use that, as I said, that's our energy behind everything that we do now. It's the elevator speech that we start with when we're talking about Zeeland, whether it's locally or we're going around the state, doing marketing or meeting with colleagues from other communities. It is that representation of who we are.
And when a community or an entity comes up with something that becomes successful, you ride the wave as long as possible, be it the Michigan Economic Development Corporation with Pure Michigan or, Feel the Zeel or some other brands. When you hit a gold mine, you just mine that load for as long as you can.
Yeah, we're having fun with it. And yeah, we don't plan to turn away anytime soon.
Abby, we're catching you at maybe a little bit of a breather because this is a very busy week in the City of Zeeland. Started Sunday and it's going to run through technically Thursday and then into the Pumpkin Fest on Friday and Saturday. That's the 175th anniversary weekend for the City of Zeeland. And today it's a very special sort of Remember When Day, a sort of a recital and some food as well. Tell us about today's activity.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, and I'm really happy to be here to tell you all about it. So, as you mentioned, it's the City of Zeeland's 175th anniversary, and we have just packed this week with celebration activities. Lot going on, so visit the feelthezeel.com website for all of the details, or find us on Facebook. But tonight, we have a free celebration dinner for the whole community from 4:30 to 7:30 at Vandalister Square, which is right at the corner of Church and Central. Those are like the founding corners of the city. We're preparing to serve a free meal to 1,500 people. So we will have nice Dutch Zeeland Bakery, pig in the blanket, macaroni and cheese. We'll have hot dogs for people who don't want pig in the blanket, some fruit, chips, of course, and then cupcakes because it is our birthday, 175 years. So that whole meal is free. Like I said, we're serving 1,500 portions. We are asking the community to please bring a non-perishable pantry item because His Harvest Stand Ministry will be on site doing a food drive. So there's no cost to come to the dinner. We just ask that you donate canned goods to the Harvest Stand. And then we will have live music. We will have local historian Kit Karsten will be giving a live storytelling of Zeeland's founding. We have fun activities for families, kids crafts, face painting, balloons. And then we have some really neat limited edition anniversary merchandise that will be for sale. We have 3 new t-shirt designs. Our Zeel gear has been pretty popular, so we're launching 3 new designs. You can have them printed right on site and go home with them. We have a local artist, Cindy Bender, who has painted 4 different Zeeland landmarks, and those prints will be available for purchase. A Zeeland pennant flag, and then we've also selected a special fire wing tulip bulb, and we'll be selling bags of tulip bulbs. And the hope is that community members will purchase a little bag of tulip bulbs, plant them in their yard or in a pot this fall still, and then next spring everybody in Zeeland blooms the same tulip, which will be really fun to see. But we are just super excited about tonight. We think it'll be a really rich experience, fun, casual for the family, but then to hear that story of Zeeland's founding, just to sit and absorb that, we think will be really special.
And again, the time for that is 4:30, I believe.
4:30 dinner open. So my suggestion would be maybe to start lining up a little sooner if you don't want to spend your whole evening in line. So that's the pro tip. So dinner will be served underneath the parking lot door entrance of Second Reformed Church. So you can park in any of the downtown parking lots or on the street along Central or along Main Street, and then walk towards Vandalister Square for the event.
I hope, and maybe I'm being a spoil sport on this, I hope no wise guy decides to try to turn on the a splash pad water.
Well,
Might be a little chilly.
Gary, good thing it was turned off last week, so I think we're safe.
Okay, because we don't want to have any wise guys trying to douse the excitement.
We don't want a damp celebration. No,
Indeed.
The weather looks great. We're really looking forward to it. And then throughout the week, there are historic trolley tours. There is a self-guided walking tour that started yesterday. But you can still pick up the self-guided booklet from the Decker Heist Museum. You can do that all week. And then Friday at the New Groningen Schoolhouse, there are 2 different sittings of a traditional tea social, and that is still taking reservations. It's complimentary, but we do ask that participants sign up. So they can call the Decker Heist Museum to sign up for that. And then Friday and Saturday, we are just packed with Pumpkin Fest activities, kids games, live music, parade, just all kinds of things. It's a busy week here, and we're excited to celebrate with everybody.
As I mentioned to Caitlin Vermeris of the Historical Society last week when we were going over the schedule and talked about the social over at the New Groningen School, I said, people, go to the old school on Paw Paw Drive. Don't go to the one on Chicago Drive. They're going to look at you kind of funny.
Right. Don't go to the elementary school. Go to the historic schoolhouse.
Yeah, that's that's on Paw Paw Drive. Just keep that in mind, folks. Yeah. Especially for those who are newbies to the area, and we want not only those who have been around for a number of years, but also the new people, especially if they haven't really experienced some of the heritage of this area. This is a good time to learn about it. Again, feelthezeel.com through the City of Zeeland for more information, not only on the 175th anniversary, but also about Pumpkin Fest this coming weekend. The other thing is, and I hope I didn't get anybody mad, but I mentioned when I talked to Mayor Kleinstra last month, and I says, when we have celebrations that are, 75, 100, 150 years, now 175, somebody gets the idea, why don't we get a time capsule? Why don't we put stuff into a time capsule? And I says, maybe that might be something to do, or maybe dig up a time capsule that was planted maybe for the 100 or 125th anniversary or something like that. I hope I didn't get anybody into trouble like, Why didn't we think of that first or something like that there?
No, we did think about it. We actually opted not to do it. And so instead we are focusing on some of this anniversary merchandise so that people can have their own keepsakes. We're also having the events, professionally photographed and videoed so that we can have kind of that living piece in our archives.
Yeah, save some of the stuff, put it in the historical museum, and
Yep.
I don't know if I'll be around in 25 years for the 200th. We'll see.
So let's do this again in 25 years, Gary.
Yeah, I think you might be able to. Me, yeah, well, we'll see. I got a new ticker, so hopefully that will do. Abby, a lot of the discussion so far has centered about this week being the 175th anniversary weekend for the City of Zeeland. Anniversary week, I should say, for the City of Zeeland, climaxing with Pumpkin Fest over the weekend. And to be honest with you, it's nice to have Pumpkin Fest back full scale after basically not having it in 2020 and having it in a limited range in 2021. It's almost as if there's pent up excitement and demand going into this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so excited. The Pumpkin Fest will be celebrating 175 years of Zeeland. So as you walk through town, you may have gotten used to what we call Avenue of Art during Pumpkin Fest. So each year Pumpkin Fest has a theme, and we have wooden carvings or sculptures representing the theme that local artists paint, and we display up and down Main Street. So this year you'll see some wooden shoes, some kind of small scale Dutch character cutouts. We'll also see a large postcard yard sign saying 175. And so all of that will be custom decorated, painted by local groups, organizations, artists. So check that out as you're strolling through town. And then tons of activities. So Pumpkin Fest officially begins Friday morning, and Zeeland Public Schools has a half day Friday. So we expect that by noon on Friday, downtown's going to be swarming with families, which is really fun. We love when the school schedule lines up like that. Most of the family activities for Pumpkin Fest take place on Church Street between Central and Main. So we call that area Kids Fest. And so there will be like inflatables, some live music, face painting, pony rides, a barrel train, lots of interactive things for kids and families to do of all ages. Almost all of it, or all of it essentially, is free. We'll have food trucks, so bring your wallet for food trucks and for our downtown restaurants. But really just plan for a packed day. You don't really need much of an itinerary. Just show up and enjoy all the activities that will be right at your fingertips.
Let's look ahead for the rest of October. There are some things going on. At the end of the month, of course, is Halloween, the trick-or-treat hour, especially with downtown. Usually it's a little bit earlier than the evening, so the kids will have to be, they'll be trick-or-treating in the daylight more than at dusk. But some other things going on. What else is going on after this weekend?
So after Pumpkin Fest, we do take a little bit of a breather, and hopefully we'll just enjoy some extended fall weather. And then, Gary, as you mentioned, on Halloween, our downtown rolls out the carpet for daytime trick-or-treating. So from 3 to 5 on Halloween, so on the 31st, our downtown businesses will be prepped and ready with lots of candy at their storefronts. And this event was designed for little kids who, maybe young families don't want to stay out quite as late to trick or treat in their neighborhoods. But absolutely anybody can come. It doesn't have to just be little kids. So 3 to 5 on Main Street, wear your costumes and trick or treat through the downtown businesses. And then that evening from 5 to 8, families will trick or treat in the neighborhood. It'll be a fun Halloween day.
One other thing, too, and I want to look further ahead for people who need to plan, especially some organizations that want to be involved with the Zeeland Holiday Parade, that, it's time to register because there will be a deadline coming up on that.
Yeah. So our our holiday parade, our Christmas parade, is the Monday after Thanksgiving. And organizations that might want to enter that parade can find information at zealandfestivalsinc.com. And if you have any questions, you can call City Hall, or just by default, you can dig through fieldofzeal.com to find it. But Zeeland Festivals is an organization that puts on our parades, and they also put on Pumpkin Fest, and they have parade applications on their website. So zealandfestivalsinc.com.
Hey, I wanted to mention that because, one can get sort of wrapped up on, all the events going on this week, but let's start looking ahead as well.
Yeah,
not only to Halloween, but also to the holidays as well.
The big holidays come quick. They sure do. And we are already planning for those. So we would love to have, Zeeland loves their good parades. So please, the more the merrier. We'd love to have, your organization in the parade.
She is Abby DeRoo, the marketing director for the City of Zeeland. She joined us today for the Feel the Zeel segment on WHTC's Talk of the Town. Abby, nothing but the best, not only this week, but up ahead during the autumn season and into winter. I know we'll be talking again soon. Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, Gary.
And that is Abby DeRoo on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.